Light is from I'm not from I've never been to America. What are you talking about? Just catching up in the chat. Shaking my head, shaking my head. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss, also representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is herO. herO versus Dark. We've casted them many times already this year, and we will continue to cast them week after week. As herO gets across the map, forcing the unnatural natural out of Dark. Oh, never mind. I mean, he is technically forcing the unnatural natural, but Dark is going across the map. We are setting up for a proxy hatchery. Let's go. Now, Dark is very aggressive in ZVP, more so than against Terran, and we have seen a lot of all-ins and a lot of proxy hatches out of Dark in recent times. He is willing to be that aggressive. He does go for a hatch first back at home, but here comes the hatch block in the natural. So, the goal of this hatch block is to deny mining. Probes are being pulled, a lot of lost mine time here for herO, and it is designed to really throw a wrench in the works and disrupt the opener of the Protoss. Now, we casted Dark versus Trigger recently. I think it was in ESL Open Cup Americas a couple of days ago, and Dark did this to Trigger every single game. Every single game he went for a proxy hatch, sorry, he went for a hatch block, and Trigger shut it down and punished Dark for it every single time as well. So I'm curious how good the defense and the reaction from herO is going to be. Interesting. So whenever Trigger defended against this, he made his first Zealot, he made a second Zealot, and went into... He went for a 2-gate response. He'd go for like a Zealot Adept counterattack, and he would actually get quite a lot of economic damage done as well. Dark did win the series, but Trigger would always get ahead in the early game off of this proxy hatch. Sorry, off of this hatch. I keep calling it proxy hatch. Off of this hatch block. Instead, herO, he cancels the Zealot. He's going to be going for a more reserved response instead. I mean, he did force a cancel. Now he's getting into his Adept, and we're getting into our game overall. Not big enough for 2 Zorg heroes. Light made Cyril move to Europe. Ay, ay, ay. Adept does arrive, and there's very little to defend. The Queen is not in position, as because of the earlier hatchery, Queen production has been delayed. Can we get a drone? The Adept is going to be respecting this, though, is going to back off. Get the hell out of there. We got 2 Lings. I think there was potential for more damage. You can see how late this Queen is, by the way, and yeah, we deny mining time at the natural once again with 2 Adepts. Ugh, again, this is the downside of the hatch block. Delayed Queens, delayed Lings. So trying to get us surrounded. We do get one of those Adepts. Big pick off here from Dark. Very big pick off as we force out more Lings, and we do force out Adept out of the main towards the natural. No forge from herO like last week. As we're getting into this, we missed out on KSL last week, unfortunately. But again, it was just a hatch block here. All is looking good. Link speed is on the way. Dark is just going to be saturating, droning up his bases, but still trying to keep up here with the Adept harass of herO. As behind this, we have our tech of choice. It is going to be a Stargate. The drone, the drone was still alive, by the way. Drone finally goes down, but was able to get eyes on the Stargate, also on the Oracle that's on the way. So Dark, he is now mentally prepared. He's getting ready, repositioning his Queens, protecting these mineral lines. Getting ready for this. As Ling's going for a counterattack, and they do manage to force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. They get eyes on the 3rd, they delay the push. Delay the Oracle at least. And can we get the Adept? It's going to be close. Up. Up. The Adept is barely not going to go down. Whew, some close stutter stepping there from herO. The Oracle gets across the map, and the main, there is no Spore. Only 1 Queen. 2 workers go down. And a lot of lost mine time. As the Lings, they have arrived, and they finally do finish off that Adept. But yeah, as the game is settling down, this is still just a really awkward position. Dark is trying to get on 3-base saturation, main-nutting his drones over towards the 3rd base. Very limited gas is taken here from Dark. 0 gas income. And herO, he's following this up with a Twilight Council and a Forge, but he's going for glaives? Okay. I was caught a little bit off guard, not gonna lie. Oh, the Oracle does go down. There you go, extension out of herO, but okay, so usually, for some context, when we go for something like a Forge and a Twilight Council, this is for +1 and either Blink or Charge. Glaive Adepts don't really benefit too much from +1. That's why this is just a really weird combination. To be fair, if Dark were to scout the main base, Glaive Adepts is the last thing that would be on his mind. So this is designed to catch Dark off guard and to snowball out of control. Can herO pull this off though? As we have a Gateway Explosion. Again, we have 5 gates in the main. 2 at the natural, 7 gates in total. And if Dark were to be going for Ling Hydra, I would give herO the edge, but Dark did throw down a Roach Warren at the 5-minute mark. He's going Ling Roach, and Roach production should be commencing soon. We'll see. We'll see if herO can catch Dark with his pants down. Dark, he's only got 2 Roaches. He's droning! Oh. Dark, he only has 2 Roaches on the way. He is droning. He barely has a standing army. Lings and Queens. We have to buy time for the rest of the Roaches as they are barely coming out. The Glaive Adepts, they do shade in. A couple of workers are falling. The Lings are being cleaned up. Roaches are coming out just in time. So we shade in towards the main. So far, only 4 workers. Darky was very quick to pull away. Oracle's push into the 3rd base. 8 workers now going down. The kill count getting higher and higher. Oh! We commit once again. We're going to be able to focus down as many workers as we can. 15, 16, 17 drones. Oh my god. 18 workers. And we're not done. We are nowhere near being done. Adepts, a shade towards the 3rd. 24 drones go down. And a couple of Adepts do escape as well. Almost 2 mineral lines worth of workers. herO, he takes a massive economic lead. He's already got +1, which means... Oh, he's not done! herO, calm down. Calm down, Papi. 27 drones. 2 Oracles make it out as well. And because we started +1 so early on, again, I don't think +1 really impacted those Adepts, but it does mean that this transition is much smoother. As we're getting into Blink Stalkers, and we're already working on +2 Blink Stalkers at that. Stalker count looking solid. Immortal count slowly getting higher and higher. 4th base is on the way. herO's in a pretty damn good position from this point. Now, Dark did go for a fast infestation pit as a reaction, and because he's behind, Hydra Den. What I mean by that, in this matchup, as soon as Dark does fall behind, if he takes too many economic losses, he is very quick to throw down a Hydra Den, work towards a Hive, and get into Lurkers. Basically, Turtle. Oh my god! As the Fungal will connect, and the Oracles are finally going down, but not before killing 5 more drones. 37 drones in total. Ay. But there's the Hive we were talking about. So again, Dark should be working towards Lurkers. Lurkers, they're a great siege unit to turtle up. Very similar to, if you were here for the semifinals, Oliveira versus Dark, where Dark had map control, Oliveira just completely walled off and turtled up. Same thing here. There's a Lurker Den. Before the Lurkers can really hit the field, though, herO is here. He can smell blood in the water. He knows that if he gives Dark time, Dark will recover. herO, he cannot just allow Dark to get into Lurkers. Lings are going down, but Dark, he still has a pretty hefty army, and with these Infestors, he has Fungals to slow down these Stalkers. And the pressure is on. Stalker's getting shaved off. The first Colossus does arrive. Fungal connects with the Colossus as well, and the Colossus goes down. Ay. We still have a couple of Immortals though. We can still keep on pushing. It's not over, not yet for herO. He dives on top of the Ravagers, gets us around as well, and every single Ravager is going to be focused down. The boys are being pulled. Was this a little bit too adventurous? The Ravagers, they survive. Oh my god, a massive overextension from herO. He's going to be losing everything. That was so close, though. I understand the logic of diving on those Ravagers, but he did not get them. It wasn't worth it in the end. Fungal will connect. The Biles barely are dodged. And as time goes on, we have Lurker upgrades on the way. As soon as we can get like 3-4 Lurkers, the push is over. herO knows that. He's expanding. Taking another base. He has missed his opportunity. He has missed his timing. And any kind of advantage that herO once had, he still has an economic lead, I will say, but again, he's not as far ahead as he once was. He lost so many Stalkers in that fight. 21 Stalkers went down, as well as the Colossus and Immortals. And Dark survives. And now he gets into Lurkers, which means he's forcing a later game, a longer game out of herO. So herO, he has to back off, lick his wounds, take a 5th base. He's taking up into Disruptors, taking up into a Templar Archives. Once herO has a stable army, this is where I have to start being a little bit critical if herO doesn't start taking into Sky Toss. As you may be aware, Lurkers are ideal against a Ground Toss army. There it is! Fleet Beacon. Let's go. We have been critical of herO in the past for transitioning too late, but this is perfect. This is a good timing here for the Fleet Beacon to get into Sky Toss, to start working on those carriers. Meanwhile, back at home, we have a Nidus. So herO, he may be teching, that is true, but Dark is not gonna be giving him the room he needs to actually take up into those carriers, into those Tempests. Dark is maxed and is looking to be hyper aggressive with this army. Overseer is queued up to go into the main. So Overseer is making its way over. Lurker count is getting higher and higher. Spire is on the way as well. And now the game becomes, can Dark punish herO? Can he cripple herO before he gets into Sky Toss? Suddenly the roles have reversed in a way. As herO is going to be the defender. We can see Dark going for a big counterattack towards the bottom left. Roach Army towards the top right, and Nidus into the main. A tri-pronged attack here, but there is a cannon in position. herO with the foresight. Again, Lurkers pushing in towards both bases. Because there's a cannon, the Nidus cannot be thrown down. But Dark, he's breaking in. The Lings, they get into the mineral line. Probes are going down. Dark, he may not break the army, but he is as well. The Zealots are falling. The Disruptor goes down as well. 22 probes fall here in the mineral line. And Dark is pulling herO apart. herO looks like he is going to be able to collapse on this southern army. At the same time, Dark pushes into the 5th. And herO is just having a hard time keeping up. With the completion of this Nidus, we can just evacuate. We can just get the hell out of here. The Nexus is going to survive. It should survive. As Lurker's just going ham, and herO, he's just going for a counterattack. He's just going for a bit. He knows that he's lost too much economic damage. We have to push across the map. We have to try to punish Dark back at home instead. But there are Lurkers back at home. There are Lurkers waiting for herO. herO was hoping that maybe there'd be a window. Maybe there wouldn't be enough Lurkers back at home. Storms are upon us. Lurkers are going down. They're not done. The Lurkers are still not done. And herO, he is breaking through. He is slowly pushing through again. He's very all in. Lost so much of his economy earlier, and he's doing it. herO with this counterattack, he breaks through the defensive line, pushing into the natural. There's one Lurker left. GG gets called, and herO will take game number 1. Whew, GG. A very, very dynamic game there from herO and Dark as well. Very back and forth. The pendulum swung one way and then the other, and after losing so many workers, it was the correct call for herO to counterattack. He had lost so many probes, lost control of his bases. It would take too long to get into carriers. That was the moment to strike, and I was concerned. I was concerned that Dark had too many Lurkers, that his defensive position would be too good. I should have had faith. I should have had faith in herO's army, in the Disruptors, in the Colossus, in the Storms, in the Protoss, Pappy, in the Protoss, as herO barely breaks through. Again, if those, I think there were 4 Lurkers in production. If those Lurkers were already done, if they were ready, then potentially Dark holds, and then Dark runs away with it. But the killer instinct from herO, sometimes the killer instinct is a little bit off. Remember, before this, herO threw away his a lot of his lead when he overcommitted with his Immortals, with his Stalkers, when he tried to kill the Ravager army. But here, the instinct was on point, and he was able to break through. GG. GG, well played. Imagine Dark catching Dark with his pants down. He thought he was safe. He thought the belt was on. It wasn't, Papi. The pants were down, exposed. Let's get into the next game. Let's get into the next game. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. Down in this series, but that was only game 1. And it's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent, also representing CranKy Gaming, his teammate, the South Korean Protoss. It is herO. Leading the series 1-0. Oh boy. And again, it's always a treat casting these two face off. Always just hyper aggression between our players, as Dark is going to be going for a hatch first. Barely does get it on location. As we get into our openers. Catching up in the chat. Dark is the hero we needed. Oh, the puns? The wordplay. Oh my god. As herO, being a little bit annoying there, does delay the spawning pool by a couple of seconds. It may not look like the biggest of deals, but that's frustrating. that's a little bit tilting as a player to be forced to delay your spawning pool. Now, this can be impactful. This spawning pool is now exposed. It's now here on the left-hand side. And if we did end up going for something like, I mean, I'm always reminded of back in the day when Void Ray openers were more common. Again, this tech is going to be a little bit more vulnerable, but not saying it's going to go down, but there's potential. We'll keep our eye on that. We'll have that in the back of our minds, just in case. As hero's getting into his own opener as well, going for a gate expand into a cybercore. Standard opener out of herO. Likewise, standard opener out of Dark as well. As for now, we are going to be getting into our tech of choice. Sorry, I was just catching up in the chat. Again, I don't really pay attention to chat in game, but like in between series, I try to keep up with the conversation, with what's happening. But for now, it is going to be a Stargate opener, so it should be towards Oracles as well. So everything is looking by the book for herO. It's really after the Stargate that our eyes are going to be on him. Again, it was a wild build last game. Remember, it was a Stargate opener into a Forge and Twilight Council into Glaive at Eps, not Blink or Charge. It was crazy, and it worked wonders. As herO got out of control, he got so much economic damage done. And we do not have an Oracle first. It's going to be a Void Ray. Now, what I love about herO's Void Rays, as the Eps are going to be threatening shades into the main base, is that this Void Ray is not queued to kill this Overlord. We don't really care about this Overlord. Not yet. This Overlord is going to die one way or another. There is no doubt about that. So why waste your time killing this Overlord? The Void Ray is queued to go across the map and kill some of these more otherwise Overlords that would otherwise escape. So we're going for the more... Oh, actually, never mind. We are moving in this direction. We will shut down this Overlord. So usually we go across the map to hunt down 1 or 2 Overlords and then turn back around. This is going to give Dark the opportunity to turn around with these Overlords and save them. Okay. And herO, he's more concerned with expanding. Never mind. So he's not being as aggressive. Dark, he will escape with the rest of his Overlords. This will mean that Dark has less vision. He's going to have less of a presence, but... Oh, that is a Twilight Council. Are we going to see a Forge? If we don't see a Forge, this should be for... Actually, it could go one of 2 ways. If this was any other Protoss, I would say Glaive at Eps. 100% Glaive at Eps here from herO. But herO, I think it was 2 weeks ago, herO showed us something different. He showed us a 3-base Blink Stalker all-in. I think it was an 8-gate. I think it was 3-base 8-gate all-in with Blink Stalkers instead of Glaive Adept. So we'll see which one he goes for as we get a massive gateway explosion. And there it is. It is Glaives. Now, this is going to hit faster and harder than the previous game, than game number 1. This is a lot more traditional variation of going into a Stargate opener into Glaives. No +1. And we'll see if Dark can keep up. Again, it's very similar to game 1, but there's a lot more committed into the Glaive Adept push this time, and less so on the follow-up. If you remember last time, we had a Forge +1, so we can get into a stronger Blink timing after this. And there's a lot of pressure on herO to get damage done with these Adepts, as we are just going to be banking them up back at home. The way this works, there's no robo, so there's no way to reinforce across the map. There's no warp prism. We're just going to be banking up Adepts and sending them across the map via the ground. Ooh, Dark, he is not throwing down a Roach Warren. Dark, he hasn't been able to scout the main base because of the Void Ray, so Dark is in the dark, and he's going for a Baneling Nest instead. Ling Bane. It is not impossible to defend, it's just difficult because you have to keep up with the Shades with those Banelings, and the Adepts, they reveal themselves. Ling's already going down. We need Banelings ASAP. There it is. The Banelings are on the way. 6 of them here at the natural. But they are so late, and the Adepts, they do shade in. The Queen's going to be able to buy some time. Adepts, they do not make it through. And the Banelings will finish. Banelings going to try and keep up with the Shades. And herO is being zoned away from the natural. Does manage to make his way towards the 3rd base, but only 1 drone goes down. This is not enough damage. Not enough damage as Dark, he does preserve his units, and we are forced to recall back home. A solid defense out of Dark. Now herO, he has a good economy behind this, but there's a lot that he doesn't have. So the downside of going for Glaive Adepts like this is 1, Blink is delayed. 2, +1 is delayed as well. Like, herO, he's going to have a really hard time getting into the mid game. He can't really threaten Dark too much, and herO is vulnerable at the moment. Dark can move out. He can even threaten to take down this 4th. Lings are on the way. Adepts are in position. So without Banelings, we can't really punish this 4th base, but the Banelings, they don't care about the 4th. They're going straight for the 3rd. Dark just trying to distract the main army. Banelings going to be rolling on in towards that mineral line, and up the Banelings. They do connect. 13 probes go down. Massive connections there from Dark. And that economic lead that herO had is no longer there. He's still heavily reliant here on these Adepts. Actually going to be pushing here with his Stalkers as well. A very offbeat push. We don't even have +1. We don't even have Blink. We're pushing nonetheless. herO once again hoping to catch Dark with his pants down. Hoping to catch him a little bit more exposed, but we have plenty of Lings in position, and herO will back off. Dark is looking solid back at home. I say that the Oracles do find a couple of workers. 4 drones will go down. While Dark trying to catch out herO in the center of the map as well. Does find a couple of Stalkers, but Blink is now done. +1 is kicking in. Do manage to engage. The Baneling speed is going to be heading towards those minerals, but alas, this time the Banelings do not get into the mineral line, and Dark is beating out too much. He has lost so much of his army, and back at home, Dark, he is hurting. And now is the timing to push. Now is the timing with +1, with Blink. herO snowballing out of control. And Dark still, I believe, he does have a Roach form, but no Roaches to defend. Mainly Ling Bane instead. This is going to be a tough hold for Dark. Here we go. We have Adepts in towards the 3rd base. Banelings will connect. Good connections, but drones are going down. Oh my god. Those Adepts, they annihilate the mineral line. 14 drones go down, and now we can shade it into the natural. And where are the Banelings? We have none. No Banelings left here for Dark. A couple of rolling on in, and good connections. But herO, he's getting out of control. He's up to 80 probes. He's working on a 5th base behind this as well. Now herO, he doesn't have any high-tech units, no Colossi, no Immortals, Disruptors, just a purely gateway army, Swarm Toss if you will. Which doesn't scale amazingly well into the late game, but against Ling Bane, it's gonna be enough. herO is still in a good position, and Dark is struggling to keep up. He's down to 72 workers. He does have a hive. He's working on Ultras. Oh my god. Ling Bane into Ultra. This is something you only typically see against Terran. Against Protoss, we used to see this last season in on Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern and what was the other map? Altitude. Ancient Cistern and Altitude. They were the two most common maps where we could see Ling Bane into Ultra against Protoss. We can see Dark, he's trying to pull that off, but he just doesn't have enough map control. That's the thing. If you're going for this style, you need map control. You need to contain your opponent. You need to keep the Protoss back at home, and that has not been happening. You need to be ahead, essentially, if you want to make this work. As Dark is still on the back foot. herO is getting into double robot production. Big stasis trap goes off here, catching the Lings. And herO, he is taking up in a lot of different directions. We have double robot for Immortal production, and we have a Stargate. Sorry, we have a Fleet Beacon for Skytoss. I mean, herO, he's on 5 bases. He can afford to do whatever he wants at this point. Take us whatever direction you want to go in. Looking at the vision, the hive has been spotted. The lack of tech has been spotted as well. So herO, he can deduce that it should be Ultras out of Dark. Just because of the lack of Hydras and lack of Spire. And the game is settling from here, but herO is the first to max out. He is maxed out, and Dark is still getting into his Ultra production. Kindness Plating is about to finish up. Ultra has been seen. Oh, massive. Oh my god. A massive stasis trap does go off here on those Lings. At the same time, a Baneling run-by was attempted. Ultra pushing forward, but the Ultra is going to go down for free. Oh, the wall. The wall is kind of a wall. It's good enough. Going to be able to hold on. Dark going to try to pull apart his opponents, but we're bleeding out Ultras. We're bleeding out too many high-tech units. Zealot run-by does take down a hatchery. And Dark, he is gaining ground. Lings, they get into the natural. They push towards the fourth. But that's a mothership on the way. Dark doing everything he can to just keep herO busy. Gets into a mineral line. Probes are going down 10, 14, 15 workers even. Not bad. But we're bleeding out a lot of Lings. A lot of Lings are falling. And is this worth it here for Dark? I mean, Dark now takes a worker lead. This is true, but it takes a while for that to really kick in. As he's still committed to Ling Ultra. As Dark is not quite ready for... I mean, there's no Skytoss. To be fair, it's only a mothership. We don't really need Corruptors. Not yet. Dark still hyper-fixated on Ling Bane Ultra. herO going to be responding with Archon Immortal. That's a lot of Archons. We have Storm. We do not. No Storms available. I think that's a bit of an oversight from herO. But Archons and Immortals, they are going to be good enough. As Banelings do roll in. Up. No reaction. Delayed reaction there from herO. 14 probes go down. Big connections. But does herO care? I mean, he is going to be down 20 workers, but now we trigger a counterattack. And here we go. herO going to be going for a massive push. With 7 Archons, 5 Immortals, a War Prism to reinforce. Dark is going for a counterattack at the same time. We're trying to go for a base trade. And he will be able to bring down this wall of cannons. But herO cannot be stopped, will not be stopped. As he may be losing a base, but he's looking to take down the entire army of his opponent. Yeah, the Queens are getting caught out. Being knocked down one after the other. There's no way for the Ultras to engage. And again, Darky's trying to make this a little bit chaotic, but This is still an army that is going uncontested. Hatchery's going to be going down. GG gets called, and herO will take a 2-0 lead in this series. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of herO. There were a couple of shaky moments, especially with how little the initial adept push did. If you recall, the initial adept push didn't really do too much. But it was also something where Dark, he refused to really take into roaches. He was stuck on Ling Bane, and he wasn't really trading too well. He was bleeding out a little bit too much Ling Bane towards the middle of the game, and that suddenly allowed herO to be assertive himself and to wreak havoc across the map with later Glaive Adepts, to be able to get into the economy, and shut Dark down. GG, well played. And I mentioned before that we very rarely get a 3-0. Very rare here between these two players. It's usually back and forth, ace match, or at least a 3-1. But herO is one game away from taking it all and taking the 3-0. Now, to be fair, remember, even though herO has a lead, it hasn't been one-sided. I bring it back to game one. Game one was so close. Game one was so back and forth. It was beautiful. Game one on Golden Ore, if you remember, between Dark and herO. Here in game two, it was a little bit more one-sided. Once herO got the ball rolling, once he got momentum, he didn't really let it go. But what I'm getting at is that even if it is going to be a one-sided score, it wasn't a one-sided series. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardled, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing CranKy Gaming. Down in this series, he needs to bring it back here and now. He needs your support in the chat. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss, leading the series 2-0, one game away from becoming this week's KSL champion for week number 33. It is herO. Also on CranKy Gaming. Oh boy, and I'm curious, how is herO going to open up? Because 2 games in a row already, we've seen Glaive Adept variations. Game 1 was a little bit less committed into a faster +1 into the follow-up. Game number 2, it was more committed. It was a straight up Glaive Adept after the initial third base and Stargate opener, and yeah, herO was able to eventually get damage done with it. The initial Glaive Adept push was a little bit lackluster. Dark was able to shut it down. It was just afterwards we were able to see herO bounce back and claw his way back into it, crippling the economy and taking the game. And we'll see how this does turn out. This is where herO goes for just a Twilight Council first. He just goes for a Twilight Council opener and just goes like 6 Gate Glaive Adept or something. It's possible. herO, he's done it before, he could do it again. But as we load into Hardled, this is a map that we do have to pay attention to. There are things to say here, and Hardled, it does have a very short rush distance by ground, and we have seen many Zerg players go for 3-base all-ins. We've seen a lot of Zerg players take the triangular third, start spreading creeper across the map, and go for one big 66 drone roach queen push, or even less, maybe sometimes 50, 53, or even 50 worker push, or all in. So we have seen a lot of aggression on this map. Based on the base layouts, it doesn't look to be the case. I mentioned before that if you take the triangular third, you can actually use this as a launch pad to spread creep across the map and to get the ball rolling. But Dark takes the linear third base instead, more of a defensive, more of a passive third base location as the natural, so an interesting choice here from Dark. So we'll see if he goes for a longer game or if he does end up cutting workers. I'm quite curious. As for now, herO, he's going for a Stargate opener. It's going to be Oracle first, once again out of our blue Protoss. I mean, I say that, it was actually Void Ray first in the previous game, if you remember. So with an Oracle first, herO, he's going to have a harder time hiding his tech and keeping that tech hidden from his opponent. which means the chances of this being a Glaive Adept follow-up is very low. Very low chance of this being a Twilight Council into Glaives. Not impossible, but just low. This first Overlord is going to be going down. Oracle's going to be moving out. Again, there's no reason to turn back around with these Overlords because there's no Void Ray. And herO is going to be threatening those bases. We have 2 Queens in position in the main, just in time to zone away that Oracle. As herO does not make his way in. Likewise, here at the natural base, we have a Spore and 2 Queens. Darky has all the tools he needs to defend. And there's that third base. There is that Twilight Council as a follow-up. But there's a Forge. So this shouldn't be Glaive Adepts. Now, I say shouldn't. Up until this point, I would be 100% certain that it wouldn't be Glaive Adepts. But after game 1, I'm not so sure. And oh my god, the Oracles, they get a couple of drones. A lot of lost mining time. 2 workers go down. The Oracles, they threaten the third base as well. They get another 2 workers. Oh my god. 1 HP. The Oracle gets knocked down to 1 HP, but does survive. The herO gets the hell out of there. And there it is. There's Blink. I was gonna say that typically I would be certain, seeing this setup, I'd be 100% certain that it would be not glazed. But after game 1, you know, I have to question my life. I do have to question PvZ a little bit, just because of what herO pulled off in game 1. But it is gonna be standard. It is gonna be Blink. So nothing fancy out of herO this time. He is moving out with Adepts, but they are vanilla Adepts. They are significantly less threatening than their Glaive's counterpart. As Dark is going for that Roach Warren. Lara's on the way alongside an Evo Chamber. This time Dark is not skipping Roaches. Lara well underway. And we're going for a Roach heavy composition. +1 range already starting up. We're avoiding +1 melee. And I'm curious. I'm keeping my eye on the drone count. Dark is looking to take a 4th base. That's true. But I'm really curious whether or not Dark intends to saturate that 4th base. Or if we decide to hit a timing with speed and +1. As hero's going to be pushing on the right-hand side. Ooh, and it looks like he will not commit to the Shade. And we are droning. Okay, we have additional tech being thrown down. Gases are being taken. And Dark is going for a Spire. Let's go. Now, this is the Dark that I know and love. So Dark, in this matchup, if he can ever get away with it, he loves going into Mutas. Unscouted Mutas can completely annihilate a Protoss player. But the Oracles, they go in! And herO, he catches wind of this. He does get eyes on the Spire. Ay, ay, ay. A very crucial scout. And with that, herO can now prepare back at home. He's already got Blink, but he can start focusing on some Phoenixes. Or he can push, actually. I like this a little bit more. So, okay. So Dark knows that, 1, there's a chance that Dark is going to be building up his gas and his mineral bank to make Mutas, which means he would be vulnerable at the moment, so herO is pushing. Now, because Dark knows he got scouted, the likelihood of him actually banking up for Mutas is very low. And yeah, he's got Roaches and Ravagers on the way. He's ready for the push. Dark is taking this very seriously. Now, unfortunately, this means that he can't actually use the Spire, and there we go, Hydrogen instead. We spoke about this before, but we have a Hydrogen and a Hive on the way. Dark, he recognizes that he lost his advantage, he lost his tech advantage at least, and he's racing into Lurkers. Lurker play is going to be on the way for Dark, which means Dark is going to be taking a more defensive position back at home. He does end up sniping that Observer. Their 5th base is on the way, we're droning, working on upgrades. +1 range now working towards +2, seamlessly. They're going to be supporting the eventual Lurkers as well. And here comes herO. Before Lurkers can come out, herO is here. Can a Dark hold on so far? We dive on top of the Roaches. There aren't too many Lings. There isn't enough to support the Roach army, and Dark is going to be losing a lot of ground. Okay, he has to back off, and this 5th base is going to be cancelled. 22 Lings now in production. And herO should back off from here. A good start, a good denial of the 5th. herO, he rotates around, pushing towards those rocks. Meanwhile, Lurker Den is on the way. Dark, he needs a little bit more time for those Lurkers. Dark supply blocked, actually. Oh my god. 6 Overlords on the way. Vipers in production. And herO is pushing in. Oh my god, with 1 Colossi with an Immortal. And Dark, he can't really engage. He can't push in. He's going to try to. He has to. He has to push in, but the Colossi, they do kite back. They avoid the vials. And Dark, he has to give up on another base. A massive blink forward here from herO. Diving on top of the army. On top of those drones. And without Lurkers, Dark cannot hold on. Being punished here for taking into that Spire and for not being able to make use of it. GG gets called. That is all we had left. herO, he takes a series 3-0, becoming this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. It was a very pivotal moment when herO came in and he scouted the Spire, which meant that Dark had to completely switch gears. And that Spire means a couple of things. One, it is resources invested into tech that we never made use of, that's true. But 2, that's a delayed Hive, it's a delayed Hydra Den, it's a delayed Lurker Den. We were waiting to get into one form of tech and we had to completely switch gears. And that means that those Lurkers, or even the Vipers, were not ready for the push of herO. herO, he knew that he had an advantage, he knew that he had a window where he could take advantage of Dark just because of the delayed tech and because of the, you know, the transition that Dark had to make, and herO was able to abuse that completely. GG, well played. Very well done here by herO. Very solid performance, and he will take the 3-0 in the end. Oh my god, a very powerful 3-0 here. Again, this final game, it did come down a lot to Dark just gambling a little bit when it came to throwing down the Spire. You could argue like maybe like a more hidden location or trying to keep up with the Oracles, but like props to herO for being that active as he was with those Oracles to make sure he was aware of what kind of tech Dark was working on, and GG, well played. And my condolences to Dark, but also a shout out as well, because hey, Dark, he may have lost in this series, but he did a damn good job getting here. He was looking so damn... I should refresh this page. Hold on. As it is a little bit outdated. It just hasn't been updated. So, Dark, of course, we casted him earlier. He did take down Oliveira and Nightmare. No, no one could touch Dark until herO. No one took a game until herO, and herO is the best Protoss in Korea. So, if anyone were to take down Dark, it would be herO. It would be our ex-CJ herO, of course. And yeah, GG, well played. Congratulations. As a shout out to Cure, I mean, a shout out to all the players that competed, but Cure was likewise the only one to take games off of herO. Technically, that is true. As Cure did go down in the semis. And if you enjoyed this tournament, if you enjoyed the broadcast, this is the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, a weekly online tournament for the Korean scene. It is not region locked. If Europeans or North Americans or Southeast Asians, if other players want to participate, they do. You can see that on the bracket. Scarlet signed up, didn't quite participate. There was a bit of a walkover there, unfortunately. Miyamaika got involved as well. Hapsaya, the American Protoss, or Canadian, NA Protoss nonetheless. Yeah, so a couple of other players got involved. This is a bad time for Europeans, so we very rarely get any Europeans here. There have been a couple of weeks where we get Wayne. I think we've seen Wayne. I think we've seen Dimaga. Every now and then we get a couple of Europeans involved, but it's very rare. Just because, 1, the time slot, 2, we force the Korean server. So a very rough ping for the European players, just because this is designed to support the Korean scene. So it is a little bit more brutal for them. So again, it's typically catered towards the Koreans, but every now and then we get a couple of other players getting involved. And if you want to support this tournament, !KSL. !KSL in the chat. It will give you a link to the Patreon of this event. So if you don't just want to support the tournament, but if you also want to gain some replay packs and gain some other benefits, then we got you covered, because replay packs are provided to the patrons of the KSL. So again, if you're interested, you can do so. Otherwise, Matcherino in the chat as well. If you want to monetarily specifically fund this weekly tournament, Matcherino is the place to be. There are also some free coupon codes, so check out the Matcherino link. There are plenty of coupon codes available, and you don't have to spend any money of your own. It just goes to show that, hey, I mean, it's basically Matcherino sponsoring this event. They do give us some money, or they give the event some money, essentially, as long as there is enough attention on it. So coupon codes do help 100%, as they do add up over time. They do boost the prize pool. So that is available as well. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. A bit of a shorter broadcast today. This was 3 hours. Usually it's around 4 hours. I appreciate a shorter broadcast. I would like some sleep. I would like some veg. It's early here in Australia. It's 5 p.m. But I mentioned before that I was up late last night casting ESL Masters Americas, and we have another cast in a couple of hours. We're going to be covering WTL, World Team League. Let me just double check. World Team League is in 6 hours. 6 hours time is WTL. So I can sleep for like maybe 4 hours. Maybe I can get a good nap in. I should be able to recover. If you don't know, World Team League is, I guess, the current era of Pro League in a way. You know, all the best teams in the world, they all come together. Dragon KZ Gaming, Team Liquid, Team Basilisk, Shopify, Team Liquid, Psystorm Gaming, the best of the best. All the teams, they do get involved and they do compete in a league format. Tonight is going to be Team Liquid versus Mystery Gaming, and Onside versus SSLT, the Starving Camels. So some quality matches are going to be going on in 6 hours time. So if you are unsatiated, if you're going to be awake in 6 hours, mark your calendars, set your alarms, and we're going to be live again on this channel. It is at a really rough time for the Americas region, so I understand if you're in the Americas, it's at a bad time slot, so you may want to get some rest, may want to get some veg. But yeah, StarCraft going on throughout the entire weekend. It is going to be clashing with ESL Masters, which is why we're not covering ESL Masters tonight. We're going to be casting WTL. After WTL, we may co-stream ESL Masters Americas. I'm undecided, just because we have another tournament after that. So yeah, the weekends are busy. Weekends are quite busy here on the CranKy Ducklings. A lot of casting to do. As I just alluded to, if you enjoyed the casting and if you want to support the CranKy Ducklings, !socials. !socials in the chats. Hold on, I'll pay out predictions. Let's go. !socials in the chat. If you want to follow us, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord server as well. You can interact with us outside of just our streams if you wish, and you can follow us on all the social medias, all of our Twitch platforms as well. CranKy Ducklings everywhere. Hold on. CranKy Ducklings everywhere. So you can follow us, and you'll be notified when we go live, as we always tweet and post whenever we go live on our channel. Again, if you can't watch live and if you are interested in VODs, we do upload on a very regular basis over on our YouTube channel. So we got a lot of VODs on our YouTube, a lot of content. We cast every single day, sometimes like today, multiple times a day. We actually have 3 broadcasts today. Jeez. 3 casts. I think our max is 4. I think there has been a day where we casted 4 tournaments in one day. Yeah. Almost killed us. So again, if you enjoy the content, we're live constantly every single day. With plenty of StarCraft available, so yeah, we got you covered. If you're interested, you can follow myself, light_VIP. You can click on the title and you'll be sent to my personal channel. I do stream whenever I can, but I mentioned before that I don't get to ladder too often. I don't get to stream too often, just because we're always casting. I'm either casting, sleeping, or eating, like one of the 3. And if I'm ever not doing those things, then I'm live, which is like once every couple of days. It's on my personal channel, trying to ladder whenever I can. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Check out all the links that we mentioned earlier. You know, the Patreon for KSL, the YouTube channel, Twitter, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and we are going to be heading off for the time being. We'll see you guys in 6 hours. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Big shout out to Shuyi. Shuyi did raid us earlier, so much love to Shuyi. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Until then, hasta luego. Bye.